Alright, here we go. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner. Classic, known classic. This is episode number 3002, 3102, Doubleshot 2996, excuse me. Basically the two trades here, the two Spider-Man-related trades. One was a trade that collected issues started coming out late 2023, ended in 2024. The other is another trade I missed, but I'll get to that. So, first we have Spider-Woman by Stevie Fox, Volume 1, Gang War. Only the second book I reviewed by Stevie Fox. I don't think the book is terrible. I don't get why some people don't like Stevie Fox. I mean, the book is not terrible. So, this is called Gang War. The Gang War is basically having the first 4 issues tied into this book, and then the last issue is her team up with Spider-Boy, which we'll get to that. So, basically, this book collects the first 5 issues of Spider-Woman Volume 8, along with a short story from Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, Issue 31, which is a prologue to this one. So she basically is being pulled up asking where her baby is, and throughout this whole book, now this book storyline follows from the events of Dan Slott's End of Spider-Verse story from Spider-Man. Yes. Which I think a lot of people initially thought was going to be a limited series, but it turned into a brief ongoing that lasted 11 issues. Yes, because he introduced a brand new character, so let's just show off this brand new character, Spider-Boy. So, because of the fact she was briefly dead, apparently everybody forgot the fact she had a child. Yes, everybody forgot she had a child. Except Hydra. Hydra remembered. So, she's looking for a baby. Carol Danvers in the issues because she was in the last couple of volumes as a recurring character. I was very happy the fact this book came back. I was also very surprised, given the fact the last book ended in early 2022. And this came out a little over a year later. The first issue of this book came out in November of 2023, during Gang War. So you can kind of say this is her looking for her baby, and then we find this guy called Green Mamba, who turns out is really Gary Drew. And you're like, wait a minute. I thought he was a toddler when he last showed up. Why is he like this for? Well, he explains what happened. So apparently after Jessica Drew briefly died during Enter Spider-Verse, apparently everybody forgot about her, including Gary's babysitter, the former Porcupine, who actually dated Jessica Drew. Yeah, completely forgot about him. Didn't know who he was. Just left and abandoned a baby. What is wrong with you, Porcupine? And then he was found by Hydra, aged up to be an assassin, and presenting his own mother for apparently abandoning him. And Jessica's like, I never would ever abandon you. Basically, you're very precious to me. And she had to fight her own son. She also has to fight, like, basically Olo Cage villain Dimeback in these issues. And then he disappears. Now, by the way, last time anybody saw Gary Drew, Jessica Drew's son, was at the end of the previous volume of Spider-Woman. And I'm thinking the writers themselves more completely forgot the fact this character existed. So, Stevie Fox probably did remember, and then after the Gang War tie-in wrapped up, and then she teams up with Spider-Boy, who actually remembered the fact that he actually had a child. Because her best friend Carol Danvers completely forgot, Spider-Man forgot, everyone forgot the fact she had a child. Heck, at one point, you see her in the book, she's putting a hand on her belly, reminding Carol that she once was pregnant. The readers remember she was pregnant, the readers remember her frickin' baby, who lost all spider powers. And, of course, Dennis Hope was never, ever resolved the storyline of who is the father of baby. Because in the book, Jessica Drew didn't know, because She apparently slept with several guys during the 8-month time skip. Who these guys were? Don't know. Dennis Hopeless didn't freaking care about it, so he didn't bother to explain it. Though he ended up basically setting up her with Porcupine, which I thought was really a relationship. And then the next guy broke up with it, and that's one thing whether or not I didn't like very much. Though it did bring like a supporting character no one had seen in years. Basically one of her oldest friends, a stunt woman. So, you all see her wear her jacket, this brown jacket that was brand new. And they go, wait, a brown jacket? Like, wait, Jessica Drew wears a jacket? Yeah, occasionally she wears a jacket when it's cold. And you see her, she's back wearing her old school attire, which for some reason, some writers don't care for the new outfit that... By the way, in a flashback in this book, you actually see her wearing the new duds that she debuted in the second volume by Dennis Hopeless that came right after Secret Wars. And I thought that was really cool, the fact that Steve Fox actually remembered this. So, then, at least Jessica Drew found somebody who actually remembered that she had a child, a kid that she completely forgot existed, that being Spider-Boy. But this book, here's my honest opinion about the book. It was really good. I thought everything was done really well. I thought the whole thing with Hydra was kind of weird. Now, here's the dumb thing. When this book ended, they never found what happened to her son. Because he fell in the water, he didn't die, he just disappeared. Because 5 issues after the storyline wrapped up, because 5 is like an epilogue, basically long after this book ended, after only 10 issues. So you bring now initially I thought this was going to be a limited series when this book was brought back, because I think a lot of people thought this was going to be limited and then just turned to an ongoing. They're like, what? Yeah, I think everyone was shocked the fact it became ongoing. Because I think it was announced initially as a limited series and then just became ongoing. Just completely out of nowhere. Yes. The book itself is, like I said, really good, and I kind of wish this lasted longer. The book is not terrible. I don't get why someone likes Stevie Fox. I don't think he is a terrible writer. No, not really. I haven't read anything that he actually wrote that I didn't like. So, I'm going to give basically Spider-Woman Volume 1 Gang War a 9 out of 10. Next up is a book that came out, this is Venom, Volume 4, Illumination. This collects issues 18 and 21 of Venom Volume 5. 17 to 21. Al Ewing does already here. The artwork of this issue is by Kafu, who does pretty much issues 17, 18, and 2021. 19 is Raganito, Perry Perez on issue 21. So a lot of this book is taking place right after the events of Dark Web. Okay, before I talk about that, I actually have tried to get them in hand a physical copy of this book, but I've had no luck with it. So I tried to look at my comic book store. They apparently can't get any copies for some reason of this book. And it's not their fault. It was Diamond's fault, because I ordered this book, and apparently, every time I came in, I kept asking them my books, and I'm not blaming them for this. Every week, nothing came in for me. And apparently I was not the only one. Yes, a lot of everybody else who ordered books, just nothing came in for new graphic novels. They've never seen a new graphic novel in my little comic store in months. Because of frickin' Diamond. Yeah, what about DC books? They're basically released via Lunar. Yeah, there's something on Distribution Network. They couldn't get anything. So, basically, there's no deal in these issues. It's all focused on Eddie. So, this follows right after the events of Dark Web, which, of course, is a crossover my friend Tibia is not really a big fan of, because of the fact they made Ben rather than being villain in the story. I think the story was terrible. I just didn't think that he didn't need to be a villain. It also felt like a low-rent version of Inferno. So you have Bedlam, an original Al Ewing character, fighting off these Technovores. who are basically the species that Warlock is from. And he gets briefly bonded with it, and he basically like fighting him. And then all of a sudden he gets confronted by Darklaw, the dark demon ruler of Limbo. Yes, this guy. So he ends up fighting him. We see where we fought Venom back in the opening issues. And then he disappears to a portal. Then we see Eddie come out of... He comes like falls in some water, comes out, and then he sees this hand. This is called the Eventuality. It's basically Eddie's future. Yeah, one thing I think a lot of people get about this run is that people have found this to be very confusing. With the whole stuff with the future. It's like, the best way to describe this run, it's like Al Ewing was trying his best to basically just duplicate this together with Mortal Hulk, and it's like, we have the Eventuality stuff, it's like Future Engine, it just, and of course you have a flashback of Venom fighting basically Dylan fighting Gold Goblin. You know, you can tell it's Dylan because he got a chain around his wrist. And of course fighting up against this future version of Eddie Brock, which, by the way, Donegal does know about this guy. So, and then we see Doctor Strange randomly appear in the book. Yes, Doctor Strange. Yep, he is here for reasons. We have some bigger people here. Looks like it'll be Baron Zemo. Not Zemo, Mordo, excuse me. Possibly him. So, then we have the stuff with... You could say that we have the stuff with Celestials. Yeah. So it's like, reading this, you're like, wait, so Eddie Brock is going to become this giant hand known as Eventuality, which is a thing from the future. Then we see Eddie Brock in the classic No armor. No was referenced a few times in this book, but he's not coming back. Oh no. There's also a thing becomes this thing right here. No never comes back. He is still dead. And then, of course, the issue ends with him having the classic Venom symbiote spider on his chest. And now, basically, at the first two issues focus on Dylan, this will be Eddie would focus on Dylan. Well, he pays visit to his BFF, Normie Osborn, and also talks about Red Goblin, calls Rascal. And then, of course, they put the symbol, and then we see, I kid you not, Norman Osborn, which, of course, Dylan first was his Pop Pop. Yeah, let me explain about that. My cousin's kids call my uncle Pop Pop because that apparently is a new thing for some kids to call the grandparents nowadays. I used to call my grandparents Grandma, Grandpa. My nieces and nephews call my parents Grandma, Grandpa. But other kids refer to their grandpa as Pop Pop. Do not know, well, it's to be different per se. Despite the fact, yes, Normie is Norman Osborn's grandson. Look, little ethics, ethics. And then you have just Norman just having Dylan for dinner. Which is interesting. Now, those of you curious, okay, where is Harry? Harry's dead. Yeah. Those of you curious, that was revealed what happened in the expansions run. Where's Liz? Liz is doing her own thing in a mini-series at come over this period of time where she's basically also a host of a symbiote too. Because Marvel nowadays is like, everybody's got symbiotes, including the frickin' Black Widow. She's got one too. Heck, she has a mini-series about too. Yeah, it's like almost having Thanksgiving. Of course, Norman goes off his golden glider. Runs into his slide. Excuse me, old school Spider-Man villain. And then we have Venom fighting Norman. And it breaks his helmet, but he stops. And then we see this crawl out of the wall. Yep. And then we see this skull. Oh, by the way, Eddie Brock basically mentioned the end of issue 18. He's going to kick his own butt. And then he just forms new body back on Earth. Yeah, his original body died in issue 1, so this is him reviving himself. And he's walking around butt naked like he's the frickin' Terminator. Kills some guy. And then we have like, oh crap, you're a Terminator. If it speeds up, sure. What's the way? Do me a favor. And then he paints on the back of his jacket the Venom symbiote symbol on the back of his jacket. So you have Eddie Brock, and then we have these stupid, idiotic cops, which is welcome to this community means you. Where these cops are complete idiots. Eddie Brock has business in this town, and so in a way, these cops are complete morons because technically they're killing their own town by basically banning tourism. So of course they hit him, Eddie Brock, and he says, "Fine, knit the flesh, knit the bone, and done. My turn," and beat the cops up. Oh, and the reason why? Because, of course, the town is under the control of these thugs, which Eddie basically beats up no problem. Yes, Eddie Brock, at this point, former host of the Venom symbiote, is beating the crap out of these random thugs. So he's a monster, and then he throws basically through a window, and it sure says Humble Frankenstein. And then, of course, basically he's here because he wants to kick Bedlam's butt. And then the very next issue, they fight. Yep, rematch from the start of the book, where they're fighting once again. Of course, they fight all over the place. He ends up eating him, goes to a dimension here, fights in our throne room, becomes a version of Venom, of course, rips apart. And the book ends with him taking the Venom symbiote for some reason. And he's like, "Now that's it. Let's go see a man about a time machine," which lays him in Latveria. In the next show, which I do own. I gotta admit, this actually was pretty good. I actually kind of enjoyed this. I don't think the book is terrible. No. I'm gonna give the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Sadly put, there is one more trade left to go for this volume, and it's tie-ins for Venom War. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much it, particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and that's going to be it here. So, next up basically is going to be Blue Exorcist. Okay? I thought I would, but look at the time. Probably not. Probably save for tomorrow at this point, sadly. Okay? Tomorrow. Bye.